Hi everyone. Lovely to see you. Well, I can't see you, but lovely that you're here. Firstly, how crazy is everything? Everything changes so quickly. But obviously, it's really, really important that we keep ourselves fit and healthy. We do things in the day that, make us feel good and things that we enjoy and that we can look forward to. So I hope you have been looking forward to your Yoga with Amy class today. So let's get going with our lovely Tuesday night class. Really hope you enjoy it. This one is going to be focusing on the posture Warrior One, which does appear in lots of yoga classes. So it's just making sure that we know exactly what we're doing with Warrior One, but that we can get the most out of it in terms of connecting with our breath, connecting with our bodies, and really feeling what it feels like to be a warrior, which I think in this current climate, we all need to have a little bit of strength and peace, as a true yoga warrior has. So yeah, let's get going. I've realized that up there I've left a piece of paper with my goals on it, my coronavirus goals, which I can recommend you do. I'm going to take it down in case you can see them there. I recommend that you put some goals together because these days they will all blur into one. So it's really, really nice to have something to look to and something to reach, and especially in yoga as well, it's nice to work up to a goal and to consider that when we're moving through our yoga postures. So without further ado, let's all get on our mats. Obviously, if you've got cushions, pillows and blankets and you want to start the class with that, then please go ahead and place your pillow on the floor and just begin to start lying down here. So we like to begin lying down in our yoga classes because it just helps us to draw all our attention into this moment. Again, I'm going to take my hair out, so anything that you feel you need to do to get comfy here, please do have a little wiggle around. Maybe if you suffer with bad lower back, you might want to place the soles of your feet on the mat and then maybe have another little wiggle and see how you feel here. So start to take a few deep breaths, maybe closing the eyes. See if you can breathe in through the nose. And take a big sigh through the mouth. Do that a few more times. Feel free to make a really big, noisy sigh. Maybe even more noisy than you would be in a regular class. And then I invite you to place your hands on your body somewhere where we can start to feel that movement of the breath. So this is another very simple action we can do that just starts to help us to connect the mind, the body, and the breath, and something that brings us right into this moment. So with every sigh, see if you can feel the belly rising, the belly falling, and with every exhalation, just see if you can let go of all that rubbish that you've been holding on to all day. If you have been holding on to rubbish all day, maybe you've had a really good day. We're letting go of anything that's happened in the day thus far, and we're bringing all of our attention into this moment right now. Enjoying this moment, a bit of you time as you bring yourself to the mat for your hour-long practice. Feel free to keep sighing out, or you might wish to just allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. And then I'd like you to imagine a time or a place or even somewhere that you've not been. So just imagine something that feels really, really peaceful. So either you can take your mind back to maybe a holiday or some place that you went where you felt really peaceful, and that particular moment when you felt really present in the moment and you were enjoying all of the surroundings. So maybe you were on a beach somewhere and you were just, you had no cares in the world. You were just lying there, hearing the sea and feeling the sand. Or maybe you were in a religious place and you got that moment of peace and comfort. Or maybe you can cast your mind back to something else. You were in a garden somewhere, or something that makes you feel really at peace. And then I'd like you to imagine that you're there and that all those feelings of peace are coming all the way back to you now. And you might want to smile because we're in our happy place. Even though there's lots of things happening in the world at the moment, we've always got that place of peace that we can come back to, and that's what yoga is all about. And then from here, we're just going to really gently squeeze the left leg in towards the chest. Notice how that feels. Make this quite a dynamic movement. So maybe on the inhalation, you bring that in a little bit. On the exhalation, rocking that knee back, just really gently. Notice how the pelvis is feeling, how the leg is feeling. And then just rock that knee back down. And we're going to take the right knee in again, just interlacing the fingers over the knee, bringing that knee in. And then letting that knee come out. Just checking you can see everything I'm doing. I think so. Just send me a message on the chat if you're not sure of what's going on or you can't see me. Inhale, bring that knee in. Exhale, send that knee out just a little bit. Just a gentle rocking movement. And you'll be able to feel your pelvis rocking here as you bring the knee in. You'll feel that lower back touching the ground perhaps. And then as you bring the knee out, you'll feel that little dip in the lower back start to increase here. And then exhale, place that knee back down. Now we're going to take both legs out long. And we're going to take both arms up overhead. We'll have a full body stretch first. So we're going to inhale, stretch the fingers overhead, right the way to that other side of the room. And then flex your feet so that your toes are pointing up towards the sky. And we're just going to push through the heels and send the feet in the opposite direction to the hands. Feel that really juicy stretch down the whole of the body, and don't forget to keep breathing here. And then what we're going to do is on an exhale, we're going to take the right hand up to meet the left leg. So we're just going to gently touch the left leg here, with the left leg pressing the foot into the sky. So we're just starting to feel that hamstring stretch. And then inhale, take the right hand back and the left leg back. It's like twister. And then from here, just relax your whole body. And then you're going to send the right hand all the way back as if the right hand is doing a full body stretch. And you're going to send the left leg all the way along the mat, pressing the left heel towards that other side of the room so that you're getting this deep stretch from the right arm all the way across the body in a diagonal to that left leg. So we're going to keep that left arm relaxed and right leg relaxed if we can, and just feel that diagonal stretch. It's just very subtle, but you should be able to feel that stretch now. And then exhale, just start to relax that right arm. In fact, relax the whole body. Maybe take a wiggle here. Take a breath. And then we're going to send the left hand all the way up. So we're really stretching through that left arm, sending the fingertips to the other side of the room. And then we're going to push the right heel towards that back wall and taking the right toes towards the sky. So we're stretching along the diagonal from the left arm down across the body to the right leg. So keep the right arm relaxed, left leg relaxed. We're stretching through that opposite diagonal. Take a few breaths here. And then to finish that one off, we're just going to stretch the right foot towards the sky, and we're going to reach towards the right leg with the left hand. Starting to feel that hamstring stretch. Inhale, send it back. We're going to do that a few more times. So we're going to inhale, left leg up, and right hand comes to touch the left leg. If you want, you can take that left hand down and kind of crunch towards that left leg. And then take that back down. We'll take the hands down by the side. We'll do that again. Maybe you want to crunch up. So we're feeling the hamstring stretch, but we're also starting to bring the core muscles into it. Inhale. Exhale down, and do that a few more times. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale. So we've got left leg, right arm, and then we're just going to have a little wiggle and a shake out here. Then we're going to inhale, bend both knees and bring them towards the chest. And we're just going to give ourselves a big hug. If you feel like it, you can bring your chin to your knees or your forehead to your knees and just have a bit of a rock here in this lovely rounded shape. And then I'm going to check what we're doing now. So we'll keep rocking in your Apanasana. Lovely. And then from here, I'm going to send both of the legs, both of the soles of the feet back down towards the mat. I'm going to send the left leg out long. And now from here, we're just going to really gently take the left fingertips onto the right knee. We're just going to have a little bit of a twist over. So what it can be nice to do is to try and keep that right shoulder down. You might want to make a cactus arm, which I can show you here. So these are your cactus arms. So if we're lying down here, we've got the left leg out long, we've got the right knee bent, cactus arm with that right hand, and we just start to gently peel the right leg over to the left side. See how far you want to go whilst keeping the right shoulder down. And maybe you want to look towards your right cactus hand. Take a few really deep breaths here. Don't push that leg. I'm not going really far with this because I don't think I need to. I can feel it in my shoulders. I can feel the twist in my spine. I'm looking to the left and I'm sending the breath through the twist, through the spine, all the way down the body. And then inhale, come back to center. From here, we're going to send the right leg out long, both hands up and overhead, and we'll do a nice big full body stretch with an inhale. And then exhale, we're going to tuck both knees in and maybe bring the shoulders up to meet the knees. Both soles of the feet come back to the mat. We're going to send the right leg out long. And then from here, we're going to take the right fingertips and we're just going to touch the knee here. And we're just going to really slowly guide that left leg over. And what we're going to do is try and keep the left shoulder down on the mat with a left cactus arm. You can start to roll over on your right hip a little bit. So you're bringing the left hip off the ground. But just do that as far as you can so that you're keeping your left shoulder down. Maybe we'll look over to the left hand. And take a few breaths to really feel that stretch around the shoulders and then down through the spine. So your spine is in quite a deep stretch now. And maybe smile here. Think of your peaceful time. Then inhale, come back to center. And one of my favorite things to do is take both hands in a cactus position and then inhale, guide both of the legs over to the right, look left. Inhale to center, exhale, both legs to the left, look right. And just move in your own time. So you're inhaling to center, exhale, send the legs down, but don't force them down. Inhale to center, exhale down. And just notice how the whole body feels in that twist. So the twist, if you are turning your neck, it's happening right away from the top of your neck down to the tailbone. So your spine is saying thank you, especially if you've either been working from home all day, sat down maybe, or maybe you've been doing some hard labor. Your back will be saying thank you. And then finally, we'll send arms and legs out long again. Inhale, stretch the feet, stretch the hands. And then we're going to come up for one last little Apanasana here. So bring the shoulders up and then rock from side to side, which gives me a chance to check what we're doing. Oh, brilliant. So we're going to rock, rock, rock. We love a good rock. And roll into our boat pose, which we've all mastered by now. Look, I can keep that attention in my core and I can still tie my hair here. Can you guys do this? Keep that attention in the core. Keep pressing down into the tailbone, lifting up through the shoulders. Starting to create a bit of heat now. I wonder if I can hold it and take my jacket off. So many things we can do in our boat pose. Remember, once you start rounding the spine here, try and sink down into those sit bones and reach up through the spine. Take a deep breath in here, shine the collarbones forward, and then exhale. Take a well-deserved moment to rest. We're gonna just come to curl over the knees here. And we're gonna breathe into the back of the body. So as I've said, whenever we're focusing on one yoga posture, like Warrior One, we're not ignoring the rest of the body. So we're not just doing Warrior One, we're going to work the whole body and we're going to connect the mind with the breath and the body. So take a few more deep breaths here. And then we're going to swing the legs around and come into our tabletop position. And then, as you might have guessed, we're going to inhale. Make sure that we've got all 10 fingers and the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. That's our foundation. Make sure we're not sinking down here. So we're going to press into the palms of the hands. You should have your hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Inhale, shine the chest forward. So rather than cranking the head back, we're going to shine the chest forward. Smile. Exhale, curl the tailbone under, and we're going to pull the belly button up, look through the legs. Inhale, move the chest up towards the front of the room, and then exhale. We're going to set the belly button under, really tilt the pelvis so that we come into that deep cat posture. Inhale, bring the chest up. And exhale, scoop the belly button. Really try and round. Imagine every single bone of your spine. You created layers of space in between each bone here. And then let's do a bit of freestyle so we can wiggle side to side. And then this is also a really good place to move the neck. So you might want to look left, look right. Take a few moments just to do your own thing. Then from here, once we've had a little bit of a wiggle, I'm going to sort my trousers out. So we've had a little bit of a wiggle around. We're going to, once again, come back to that really strong foundation pose. So we've got the hands pressing into the mat. We're not sinking down. Got some attention through the shoulders there. And we come into a neutral pose, which is halfway between your cat and your cow. Once we feel nice and solid here, we're going to inhale, take the right hand and send that up. So check your balance on 3 limbs. If that feels okay, you're going to pick up your left leg and send that back. Smile and see if you can do this without moving the rest of the body. So the whole of your core stays really, stays really attentive here. So it's really strong and you're not moving the middle of the body around as you take your arm up. You're trying to keep the whole of that middle part of the body exactly where it is. So let's have a go on the other side. So we're going to inhale, take the left hand up, check your balance on 3 limbs before we take the right leg, and we're shooting the right leg all the way back. We're trying to create a long line. So we're not trying to send the limbs up. We're trying to stretch forward. So just as we did when we stretched on the ground, when we were lying down, we're doing that diagonal stretch, we're sending the left hand forward, the right foot back. Take that back down. Maybe have a wiggle. You can always have a wiggle. And we're going to try that again. Inhale, send the right hand forward. Maybe at the same time, you want to send the left leg back. Keep that foundational posture, that really strong core. And now just check whether your leg's going too high. Bring it back down. Point the toes down towards the sky. Press through the back heel while stretching that right hand forward. Feel that diagonal stretch. Exhale down. Maybe another wiggle. Inhale again. Left hand forward, right foot back. Make some adjustments so that you feel really long. So it's one long line from the back heel, toes down, all the way up through that left hand. Anybody getting warm now? Exhale down. Another wiggle. We're going to have another go. We're going to add in our elbow to knee pose when we come back. So we're going to inhale, right hand goes out, left leg back. Exhale, curl in, touching if you can. Bring the elbow and knee close together, and then inhale, send right hand out, left leg back. Exhale down. So it's like a little flow now. Inhale. So we're going opposite arm. And then exhale, curl in. Inhale out. Exhale down. Going to go again. So move with your own breath. Don't wait for me. Inhale. Make sure the whole of that core is staying really strong here. Test your balance. Inhale. And then exhale down. One more time. Inhale. Left leg. Left leg. Left arm. Right leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. Have a wiggle. We're going to come back down. You can take a block or a book or just something to sit on if you need to. So you can sit on your block if you wish, but if that's still not comfortable, you can just stay here. We're just going to take a moment to circle the wrists out, maybe interlace the fingers and wiggle them around. Take a moment to catch your breath. And then we shake the wrists out a little bit, maybe stretching the fingers, closing the palms of the hands. Very good. And then wherever you are, if you're here or if you're kneeling up, we're just going to take this opportunity to do a little side stretch. So I'll come and face you. We're here. And then from here, and you might want to grab a book or a block for your side stretch. Going to inhale, take the left hand all the way up. And we're just going to have a little side stretch here. And then back down, rolling the shoulders in between. And then taking your block in the other hand. You might be okay to just bring that hand down onto the ground, just see how it feels. Inhale the hand up and then exhale. Inhale. And again, give your shoulders a nice little roll here. Maybe move the neck. Maybe that's all you've needed all day. Lovely. And then we're going to carry on with our warriors. Well, we're building up to our warriors. So from here, we'll come back to all fours. And I know that this doesn't always suit everyone. So you can do all of these postures with your forearms down if that's where you need to be. But again, just maintain that really strong foundation. So you're pressing into the forearms, lifting through the shoulders and not sinking down in the belly, which is, I think, for me, it's more tempting to do that when I'm on my forearms. So wherever you are, we're going to, again, pick up one limb. We're going to pick up the right leg. We're just going to take some circles with the knee. Oh, is anyone else clicking? So we're going to inhale, nice, smooth breaths here. Go back around the opposite direction, working into the hips. Because for warrior, there's a little bit about the hips in there as well. So we just need to make sure that they're warmed up. If you are struggling like this, you can just lie down on your back and you can do the hip circles just like this. So if you need to be on your back doing the hip circles that way, then you can. If you're working on all fours, then we're going to pick up from this strong foundation, pick up the left leg and just start to circle. Maybe this should be called peeing dog. I don't know. Is this how dogs wee like this? Maybe. Anyway, and then we're just going to circle back in the opposite direction. Notice what's going on in the hips, any cracks that we might want to be aware of. And then from here, we're just going to do a little stretch into the foot and into the hamstring. So we're going to send the right leg out long, and we're just going to start to rock very gently onto that back leg. So it's almost like a plank position. Plank is obviously when you have the other leg up. So we're going to keep one leg down. We're just going to start to move through the toes. So stretching the toes, especially if you've been walking a lot or you've been on your feet. And this should feel either really nice or really painful, but either way, it's very good for your body. And then exhale, bring the knees back together, send the left leg out long. I'm just going to work into those toes on the left side. Then either you can stay there if you feel like you need a more gentle practice, you can keep working into the toes, or we can take the left leg back and just gently lift that left leg, try and keep that really nice long line, and we'll just do a few little lowers, so dipping the toes down towards the ground, lifting that leg up, and just see if you can keep the back nice and strong here. This probably won't look like much, but your lower back is working really hard to raise and lower the leg, especially if you're keeping all that attention through the leg. I can feel I'm creating some heat in the body now. So you're going to exhale that leg down, send the left leg out, again keeping that nice long line. We're not going for huge movements, but we're just trying to keep all the muscles in that left leg engaged, keeping the core engaged as well. Do 5 of these movements. I've probably done a few more than that now. And then from here, we can take the knees out wide, or we can keep them together. We're going to come down into a child's pose, sending the fingertips forward and the forehead down. If child's pose is not suitable for your knees, then we keep the knees where they are and we walk the hands forward into a puppy pose. We're going to take a relaxed puppy pose because we're using this as a break now. So forehead comes down. If you work with blocks in your child's pose, then feel free to grab your blocks. And it's sometimes nice to just have your forehead resting on something here, wherever you are. Sending the breath into the back of the body, just noticing how you feel after your leg lifts. And then from here, we're going to inhale, step the left leg towards the front. Sorry, coming up from your child's pose. I'm already there. And then we're going to test our balance again. Come up onto fingertips, or if you prefer, blocks or books. And then in one swift movement, we're going to come all the way up using the core muscles to stay really nice and strong here. And the key thing I want you to remember is the knee should be in a right angle over with the lower leg. And then I don't want you to have the knee too far forward or too far back, or dipping to the left or dipping in. So just make sure that you've got the attention through that left thigh. You can even think about rotating the thigh. It's a very subtle movement, so you won't actually move anywhere, but think about rotating the thigh outwards here. Then we're going to inhale, take the hands up, and then exhale out to the side. I think we did this one last week, but I really like it at the moment. Inhale up. So this is kind of like a half warrior one. We're doing it with the upper body and we're doing it almost with the legs. But in warrior one, we'll have our hips facing forward. So that's what we've got. We'll have a really strong foundation with the legs. And then here we'll be taking a little bit of a back bend. If you know that that's good for your back. Inhale, send the breath up through the belly and through the chest here. And then exhale, come back down onto your blocks or onto the mat. Take that left leg back. Maybe have a wiggle here. And then we're going to inhale, right leg up. Again, get that really strong foundation before we come up, pressing into the toes. And then from here, engage the core. And in one swift, smooth movement, we're going to come up. No wobbling. And then from here, come into our warrior. Remember what we're doing with that leg. Oh, I wobbled. So we're going to try and aim to have the thigh rotating outwards so that we're really protecting the knee. And the worst thing is when it's dipping in and then you've got all that pressure on the knee. So from here, inhale up, exhale, twist over to the right side. Inhale up again, sending the breath through the front of the body, checking that knee hasn't dipped in, pressing into the feet, and then exhale down. So now we know what we're doing for our warrior one. Maybe have a wiggle here while we're here. That looks really good. And then we're going to take a little bit of a hamstring stretch here as well, because why not? So we're going to inhale, take the left leg up, and instead of stepping that foot down, we're going to move onto the heel. So you might want to creep the toes forward and then pull the toes back up. So maybe I'll come a little bit closer to show you. Or maybe I'll stay here actually for the camera. So we're going to send the left leg forward. You might want to start by stepping the toes and creeping them forward. And then we're going to inhale, lift the toes up. And then make sure that we haven't sunk down with our upper body, because what we're going to try and do is using blocks or books or whatever we've got here. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, try and get that really nice long spine so that we're not completely collapsing, rounding or doing anything weird with the upper body. Pulling the toes towards the face, which I know will make you go like this, which is good because it's stretching the back of the hamstrings. Inhale. Send in the breath down into the belly of the hamstrings here. If you have a tendency to hyperextend and send the knee all the way back, then just put a tiny bend in there. And then I want you to check as well that you've got both hips pointing forwards in your stretch. And then to come out, we're just going to loosen that knee off. Maybe walk the toes back if that's what you need to do first. And then bring that left leg back. Oh, feel the difference with the left and the right leg. And then take the right leg up. So you might want to step first and then wiggle the toes forward before bringing the right toes up towards the face. Pressing into your blocks, or if you've not got blocks, you might have your hands down on the floor. But again, just might want to have your fingertips on the floor to press into the fingertips, lift through the spine. And really trying hard not to round too much through the upper body. So you might want to also place a slight bend in that knee to really get into the belly of the muscle. Inhale and lift. If this is super easy for you, then you can start to fold. But you can only fold when you've got your whole spine really nice and long. And then your hamstrings might allow you, if you're lucky, to fold a little bit more. So to come out, we're going to sort of relax into that right knee and start to step the right toes back. So now we're getting more prepared for our warrior one. From here, we're going to step all the way up to the front of the mat. And you can again use your blocks. You can bring them along to every class. We don't need anything else in this class today. So you might want to use your blocks to step up. We're going to come into our sun salutation. So we're going to press into the feet. And then first, we're just going to do a little forward fold here. So you might want to get rid of your blocks, holding the elbows, and then breathe into the back again. So just going to take a few breaths here. If you do have a poorly lower back that you need to be really careful of, I wouldn't recommend coming all the way down. I'd recommend staying here, staying really nice and strong in your back so that you're not putting all the pressure on, especially when you start to come out of it. So you might be here, if that feels better, working strength in the back, or we might be giving the back a nice little rest. And then we're going to bend into the knees, engage the muscles of the legs, the glutes, and then inhale, bring the hands all the way up. And then just take a moment here, maybe shaking the body out. Going to take the palms together. Close the eyes if you've got the balance to do that. Take a few deep breaths, and then we can start to move through our sun salutations where we'll introduce our warriors there. So as we always say, our feet are the foundation of a lot of our postures, especially all of the warrior postures that we do. So we need to make sure that we've got our weight nicely balanced into the feet, so all 10 toes are pressing down into the ground, and we can rock side to side, forward and backwards, just to see that we've got our weight nicely distributed. And then we're not flopping the bum out, we're not flopping the bum forwards, we're really having that attention in the belly again that we talked about earlier, lifting up through the spine and grounding down through the feet. And then we'll have a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, take the hands up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Place the hands onto the ground with bent knees or take your blocks here. Inhale, come up halfway. You might want to take the hands onto the thighs. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, take the right foot back, and then exhale that back knee down. Unless you're working in your full plank pose and your full chaturanga, then you might want to keep that back leg there. So the options are keep the knees down here for your chaturanga, which we did last week. So if you're not sure, you can catch up. And then we're going to tip the body weight over the hands, elbows in towards the body, dipping all the way down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and we lift up for our Cobra. You might feel that same area of the back that was working when we were lifting our legs in tabletop. Exhale down, press into hands to come all the way up. And we're going to move into our first downward dog. So pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing into the toes, lift the hips up and back. So you want to feel as if your bum is being lifted in the air. Don't worry about the knees, they can stay bent. Press into all 10 fingers, especially that first finger and thumb, to lift you up and lift the spine here. If you know you're super flexible, you might want to start working the feet towards the ground, but probably here for your first downward dog, even if you are super flexible, it's good just to take it really easy with the legs, but really try and reach up through the armpits, through the shoulders in your downward dog. And then inhale, take the right foot back. I'm going to send that right leg up, and we're going to step the right leg forward. And then from here, we're going to step the back foot down so that it's pointing towards that front left corner. So we've got the left foot pointing towards that front left corner of the mat. And then from here, we're going to lift up into our warrior one. Some people do find it easier to come up into warrior in this kind of lunge pose. And then once you're here, place that back foot down. So it's whatever you feel is best for your hips and your knees. Have a look at your warrior. Sorry that you can't necessarily see all of mine, but have a look and just make sure that you've got both your hips pointing forwards, that you've got your front foot pointing forwards, and you want to have a bit of a bend in that front knee. And then you've got your back leg pointing, well, you've got your back foot pointing towards that front left corner of the mat. So I might just show my feet here so everyone can see. My glamorous assistant helping me with the camera. So you can see here that this is a really comfortable warrior for me. If I was really far back, I'd be stretching here and maybe my back heel wouldn't be able to go down. But here feels really nice. I've got both hips forward, so you can just check by touching those bony points on your hips and just making sure that they're both pointing forwards. I'll come here to show you that. So that's how you should look. And then this is really about opening the chest. So then I'll show you that. So from here, we shouldn't be flopping the belly forwards. We should be feeling really nice and central here. So like our weight is balanced centrally over both legs rather than over the front leg, which can be the tendency. And from here, grounded down, we're going to lift both the hands up. And we're going to exhale, straighten that front leg. Again, inhale, bend into that front leg. Lift the chest towards the sky. Little bit of a back bend here. Try not to flop forwards too much into that belly. And then exhale down. So you might start to feel that stretch already in the back leg. And you're strengthening through that front leg and right glute muscle. So just continue here in your own time, stretching up and down. We'll do one more like that. See if you can notice the soles of the feet pressing in towards the mat. And as we rise up and rise down, take a little look down at that front leg and just notice if your knee has started to dip in. You might want to try and rotate, have that feeling of rotating that right thigh towards the right side. So you feel really strong in your legs, strong and peaceful warrior. And then from here with the arms up, just going to take a little twist over to the right side. Notice if that's done anything to your balance. Inhale back up. And then from here, we're going to take both elbows behind the back. So we've still got our warrior legs. Keep your warrior legs here. I'm just going to show you the arms. If you want that extra challenge, see if you can place the palms of your hands together behind your back. Or it's sometimes just more comfy to grab the elbows here. Establishing that lovely yogi breath, pulling up from the core. Inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, and then exhale, we're going to fold, but we're going to fold from the hips. So even before we take the arms behind the back, you might want to check that when you fold, it's just the hips that you're folding from here, so that little hip crease where your leg meets the hips. And then again, if you're a hyper mobile person, you might want to put a little tiny bend in that front knee, but for everyone else, we're straightening the front leg, straightening the back leg, and seeing how far you go in this stretch. You should feel a really intense stretch into the hamstrings of the front leg and the back leg now. Inhale, bend that front knee, and we're going to come all the way up in one smooth go. Exhale the arms down, step the left leg forward, and then have a little bit of a shake off here. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to move through our warrior sequence again. We're going to inhale the arms up. Move in your own time with your own breath. Exhale down. Use the blocks if you wish. Hands come to the mat. Inhale up, or take the hands to the thighs. Exhale down. Inhale, take the left leg back this time. If you're working in plank, keep the knee up, or exhale that knee down. Inhale, take the right knee back, and then we're going to shift the body weight forwards over the hands, like we did last week for our chaturanga, and lower the body down. Inhale, press into the tops of the feet, engage the legs, and then squeeze the shoulder blades to lift the chest into your baby cobra. Exhale down, press into the hands, come all the way up, tuck the toes, and lift the sit bones really nice and high into your down dog. Remember that it's a spine stretcher, so we're pressing into the fingers, lifting through the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades down the back. And then if we want to, we can work on the hamstrings as well. Inhale and exhale in your down dog. And then we're going to inhale, lift the left leg in the air for your three-legged dog. And then we're going to curl the knee in and step it forwards. And then from here, we might want to try lifting up first in a lunge pose. Test that balance, and then step that right foot down. So now we've got the left foot pointing forwards. We've got the right foot pointing towards that right diagonal corner of the mat. Take a moment to adjust your warrior and make sure that you've got your weight right above both legs here. So you've not got your weight forwards. And just check that that knee isn't dipping in, but you've got a bit of a rotation out with that left leg. So feel that rotation there. From here, press into both feet, lift the arms into that little bit of a back bend, shining the chest up. And then exhale, bring the arms down, straighten that front leg. We'll go again, we'll bend into the front knee. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale down. And just do that with your own breath in your own time. So you can see that my legs are really nice and strong. They're not moving. I've got the back heel down on the floor. When I say the legs are not moving, I mean, obviously the front leg is moving, but the feet are staying firmly planted. I'm really rooting down into the legs as I lift up through the body. I'm not wobbling everywhere because I've got that really good foundation here. Inhale, lift both arms up, and we're going to exhale and reach over towards the left side. And smile. And then inhale back up. We're going to straighten off that front leg and then hold the elbows again or press the palms together. That could be your 12-week coronavirus challenge. or maybe longer than 12 weeks, to get enough mobility in your shoulders to press the palms of the hands together. That's your challenge. Inhale and lift here. Straighten off that front leg, and then exhale and fold. And you'll notice that by keeping the elbows or the hands on the elbows, I'm not then rounding, because we don't want to go all the way down, because then our spine completely rounds. So what we're doing is we're keeping that really strong foundation in the legs and strong foundation in the back as well. And we're just seeing how far our hamstrings will allow us to go. That is pretty much my limit here. Some people who have got very flexible hamstrings might have their spine really long, but their belly on their thigh, and they might be able to kiss their shin, but maybe we're not going to do that. I don't know. Maybe. And then breathe here. We're going to inhale, bend into that left leg, press into both feet, lift all the way up again. Beautiful, warrior one. Exhale down, step the right foot forward, and then have a really good shake off here. So we've got a few minutes now to do a balance posture. So I will show you what we're going to do. You might have guessed it because it follows on really nicely from our warrior, because we're going to try warrior 3. We did tree last week, which was really good, and it's a nice one to kind of warm up our balance posture practice. But now you've been practicing all week, I imagine, so your balance will be amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to sink down into both feet and make sure we've got that really lovely Tadasana posture here. I've come into the middle of my mat. I don't really know why, I just feel a bit better here. You do need a bit of space behind you for your leg to go back. And you're going to start to take the weight once you've found that nice balanced mountain pose. Take the weight into your left leg, and then I'll just point the camera on my feet for a minute. And then what I'm going to do is, when I've got the weight in my left leg, just as we did in tabletop, but a little bit different now, we're going to start to take the right leg up, and at the same time bring the upper body down. So really try and root down into that standing leg, but keep the spine nice and long. And if you want to go crazy, you can take the arms off your hips and do lots of crazy things here. You might want to take that further, but remember, we've got to have that back foot really strong, and we're going to be pressing into that back heel. All of the muscles in the back leg are going to be firing up. You're going to be sending that back heel back, just as we were doing in our in our tabletop postures. So we're going to aim to have this standing leg straight. Come down for a minute maybe. And I like to put a tiny bend in that, because I know that I do sometimes have a tendency to lock out in that standing leg, which doesn't help with my balance. So you might want to try that again, coming up. And it doesn't matter how far we go in this, because obviously the full posture is when your leg and body are are parallel with the ground. But whatever we do, we need to make sure we're doing it right and we're building strength. So even if your warrior 3 pose is here, but you've got that really lovely long line through the body, that's perfect. If your warrior 3 pose is here, then that's great. You can work there. So coming down, feeling it on that left leg now. We're going to come into our mountain pose again. Shoulders nice and relaxed. We're rooting down into both of the feet and begin to take the weight onto your right leg. So sending the breath up and down the body. And remember, when we come into a balanced pose, the key thing is to find a point on the ground that you want to look at that's not moving, that will help you as your focus point. Sending that left leg back as we tip the upper body forwards, again folding at the hips like we did before, keeping those back toes pointing down so that we're not coming out to the side. So you can see there, if you watch kind of my hips and my bum, this is with the toes pointing down, and this is with the toes pointing out, which is not what we want. We want to keep both of those pointy bits of the hips pointing down here. Do some crazy things with the arms if you like, but make sure we've got that lovely long line. Bring that left foot back down. And we'll just have another go on each side. So take this in your own time. Don't listen to me if that helps. So we're going to establish our foundation. Move the weight into the left leg. Hands on hips to start with. And we just start to draw that right leg up. See how far we come. Sending the breath up and down the body. Strong foundation on the left leg. Crazy things with the arms maybe. Building strength in the back. And then exhale. That right leg comes down. Maybe take a shake here. Establish your mountain pose again. Send the breath up and down the body. And then weight into the right leg. I'm going to start to bring the left leg up. Take your attention to a point, maybe on the floor, on your mat, that's not moving. See how far you want to go in your warrior, but just double check, if you can, that your hips are pointing down, which means you haven't got your left foot or left toes pointing out. They're pointing down, flexing through that left leg. Ooh, coming down, really nice and slowly. And then again, shaking off through the legs, through the hands, maybe give yourself a pat on the back. And then we're going to come down towards the ground now. So you can either come down in a way that suits you, or I've just stepped my legs a little bit further apart. So you can see my feet there. And I'm just going to come down through a few squats. So you can definitely do this if you have poorly knees, but then you won't come all the way down through the squat at the end. So we're going to inhale, bend the knees. It's like a little ballet movement. Stretch the arms up, then exhale, take the right hand under the left, and we call it the coffee press, coming all the way down. Engage the leg muscles when we're down here to send you all the way back up. Inhale, exhale, right hand on top this time, and then engage in the leg muscles. Inhale, see if you can go a bit lower every time. Left hand on top. Inhale. If you know you've got bad knees, then just make your way down onto the ground on your back in whatever way suits you. And this time we'll see if we can send the hips all the way down without too many cracking knees, please. Ooh. Can't hear you guys, but I'm imagining lots of cracking knees. And then from here, I'm just going to hold our Malasana pose, our squat. Couple of breaths, and then we're going to send the bum down. Very gracefully come down onto the mat. We're going to keep those knees tucked in towards the body. You might want to let go of any hair bubbles, anything like that, rocking from side to side. Take the hips in a circle so the fingertips come to the kneecaps. And just do whatever little organic movements you feel like you need to do. You might want to take a full body stretch here. And because we've been doing some stuff on our wrists, and then now we've just been doing some balances on our ankles, we might want to just rotate the wrists, rotate the ankles. Finally, if you want to have one last little twist, you might just want to take the legs and windscreen wiper them left and right, allowing your breath to come back to that really soft, natural rhythm. And then from here, you might want to grab your blankets, your bits and bobs for your relaxation. I'm going to grab a pillow for my head. This is always the best bit, nourishing ourselves, giving ourselves a break. Get your blanket out, don't be ashamed. I'm going to grab some water as well. And then I'm going to lie down, making sure that we feel really comfy. So this is the part of the practice definitely not to be skipped. This is the best thing for us, in my opinion, and in lots of doctors' opinions as well. because it lowers the heart rate. It sets us back into that really calm state that we need to go back to, especially at times of craziness like this, but just in everyday life as well. We need that time to reset the body and to really relax. So I'm going to take my glasses off now, closing the eyes. If you have a bad back, maybe keep the knees tented. If your legs feel okay and your back feels okay, taking the legs out long, maybe tucking everything into the blanket. And take a few deep breaths here. Closing the eyes if that feels okay. And now that we've come down into this relaxation posture, just bring your attention to your nostrils and that place, that point where you can feel the air entering through your nostrils on the inhale, and then on the exhalation, just notice the air as it passes through the nostrils again. Allowing all the limbs of the body to become really heavy and to feel supported by the earth beneath you. So feel really, really nice and comfy. And then with every exhalation, just letting go of any tension, letting go of any muscles that have been working really hard, just allowing them to sink into the mat, to be held and be supported here. Maybe you can cast your mind back to a time that felt really peaceful again. Maybe the same moment that you were thinking about at the start of this practice. Or maybe if it's hard to think of a time that felt peaceful, you might want to just imagine your happy place here. So you might want to imagine maybe soft sands around your body, warm air, the sound of the sea. Or if that doesn't bring you peace, then maybe you could think of your own space and how it feels. Take a few moments to really enjoy that feeling of being somewhere really peaceful, where you feel really content. Giving your mind a few moments just to turn off, just stop whizzing around. Just to enjoy these moments of relaxation. So you might want to stay here for a really long time, which is obviously completely fine. Please do. Otherwise, you might want to just start making some really gentle movements. So you might want to inhale a few deeper breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. You might want to start to look left and right to awaken the neck. And you might want to start to gently move the knees in towards the body. Give yourself a gentle hug here. We don't need to peel the shoulders off the mat. You can just rock a little bit from side to side here. Still trying to keep that lovely feeling that we've managed to find in our yoga practice. See if we can set an intention to carry that feeling with us throughout the evening. So whatever you've got planned this evening with your dinner or maybe your children, just see if you can keep that little bit of a peaceful feeling. And then we're going to roll onto the side and use your hand to just really gently press you up, still not jumping into the next moment. We're just enjoying every second here. And then coming up into a comfortable seated position when you're ready. We're going to take a few neck rolls here because that feels really nice. Roll the shoulders maybe have a big stretch up. Exhale the hands down. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see you guys and say goodbye. So lovely to have you in the class. Please come back next week and do our Tuesday night class again. I hope that was all good for you, and see you soon. Stay safe and stay well. Bye.